Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy. So our story continues with the shocking sight of Whis, the former angel of Universe 7 and attendant of Beerus, the god of destruction. Once an ally, the figure that even freed Ultra Vegito from his imprisonment, now standing over the barely moving body of Yamcha, who he had just inexplicably struck down last chapter. Whis! I have to be dreaming. It couldn't have been you who attacked me. Why? Don't you remember who I am? As Yamcha, now with what little energy he has left, would question the angel in almost a dreamlike state. But Whis, now wiping away what was perhaps a small tear, would respond, "Of course I know who you are, Yamcha-san. You are not dreaming. I know you are my enemy." As looking down now coldly, with his demonic red seraphim on full show, the true nature behind this new Whis identity would become apparent, as the soft-spoken angel we once knew would turn to a cold-hearted killer. Goodbye, Yamcha-san! As instantly swinging his arm back with force and a frozen, robotic face on show, right in Whis' palm, unbelievably, a new staff would appear. A demonic one, who of course replace the angelic one gifted to Vegito, as with a skull embedded at its peak and a trident holding what appears to be a dark red and black glowing crystal ball. Whis! What's going on? Can you just explain? Before the dazed Yamcha could even hope for some semblance of clarification, like a death beam from Frieza, the long-haired earthling would have his heart stopped in an instant, as a blast of red energy from Whis' staff would pierce through his body immediately. Without a word more, Yamcha's life would be snuffed away. His eyes closed and his breath stopped as the angel Whis, presumably, takes his first human life. Yamcha! But just as the Earthling's life force would vanish, it wouldn't go unnoticed, as almost instantly, as if the Namekian had been baby monitoring Yamcha the entire time, Piccolo would be left wide-eyed, as he would turn his head immediately and think, "No! Tell me this is some kind of technique! Tell me you didn't die again, Yamcha!" Stop looking around, Green Man! I'm right here! But as the Namekian would ponder over his close friend's status, coming straight at him would be a scaly serpentine demon, his eyes fixated right on Piccolo until Enough. Plans have changed, and I'm done with you. As just like that, instantly with a sudden blast of energy straight out of his own mouth, Piccolo would incinerate the demon, potentially a demon king, with a single energy beam, as if the creature were nothing. And as Piccolo would pause for a moment, with now nothing in front of him apart from the charred smoke of his would-be attacker. Yamcha! I'm coming! Hold on! With fury and extreme urgency, the Namekian god would fly at light speed to the last known whereabouts of his fellow Z-fighter. Huh? Where is he? I can barely sense the energy from even demons around here. What could have happened? Wait! That body! And who's next to him? But as Piccolo would approach towards two dark figures, his blood would begin to run cold as he would realize who it was that was right in front of him. Whis! This cannot be! As eagerly and confidently, he would then land right beside the foot of the deceased Yamcha. Yamcha! I can't believe this! And as the buff Namekian would stand over the dead body of his friend, staring into his cold, dead eyes, all Piccolo could do is grumble, as he would tense his muscles and partially bulk up from his rage, all the while the white standing hair of a certain angel would look on at him. But soon enough, the grumbles would be broken, as looking now straight into Whis' red seraphim eyes, Piccolo would calmly say, "Must feel good to pick on the weak like this. Us helpless mortals, you gods claim to protect. I should have always known about you, Whis." To which Whis, frankly looking on at Piccolo, would then respond, "No, Piccolo. No matter how it seems, this was not an enjoyable affair for me. But I will remind you, a god of destruction nor angel were ever assigned to protect, only to maintain the balance along with the kind." Whatever you say, what you did today means all the same. As now showing his rage, as veins would bulge out of his skull, he would swipe his arms to the side and continue, "You know, when I heard the story of how you helped Vegito, how you somehow were the only one to oppose the gods when they came and destroyed us, I actually felt something for you. Respect. Love. You were almost one of us, but here you are, undoing it all. Why?" But Whis, remaining cold-faced, would then only reply, "As flattering as that is to hear from you, Piccolo-san, it is just more evidence of you mortals forgetting the hierarchy in place, believing I, an angel ordained by the Omni King, as your fellow friend. I am afraid your quest for an explanation from me, like Yamcha-san, will be one you will not live to hear. All I can ask is your forgiveness." Oh, is that right? But on hearing this, it wouldn't be fear that would strike the Namekian, but instead a confident grin, as staring straight forward, as his entire body and face would begin to vascularize, he would let out,
"You know what? Fine, Whis. A little while ago, you saying something like that would have meant something, but not anymore. It's been a long while since we last met, so just know I've gone through some changes." "I'll make you pay for Yamcha!"
As exploding into a raucous power-up, his screams would be heard all through the universe. Piccolo would begin his long-awaited transformation, showing it for the first time in front of the angel. And as we would get a view from his back at first, his body would begin to grow and double in size, as his skin would turn a sickly yellow, covered all in a giant golden aura until... Finally, Orange Piccolo would return to the battlefield, his size ginormous and his godly ki emanating from every pore. In this universe, his power gained from absorbing the entire population of the Namekian's greatest fighters. He now not only fights for Yamcha, but for the pride of his people. But as Whis' shadowed face would watch on near emotionless, inside he would be impressed with what he would sense, thinking, how curious. The Namekian has found a way to attain his own divine ki. It seems it's not just the Saiyans with great potential after all. Before switching his expression and adding on darkly, and it seems the Saiyans are not the only ones needing to be put down. But regardless, Piccolo, with caution thrown to the wind, would begin blasting forward towards the angel, his first time attempting to fight such a being. But as if nothing had ever changed between Whis and Piccolo's power gap, Piccolo's first vicious punch would wholly miss, instantly, as the angel would casually keep his arms behind his back. As Whis, looking towards him with a blank stare, would say, "You may have changed, but you only need look at one of these eyes of mine to know my change has been greater, Piccolo-san." As like a thunderous whip, Whis would counter and crackle his foot right onto the oversized Piccolo's face, sending the orange warrior flying far into the background. But in his newly powered state, it wouldn't be long before he would regain himself on the ground, landing on one knee, clearly surprised, however, at Whis' abilities, as he would comment,
"So, this is the power that the angels possess. This is what Goku had been training with this entire time, huh? Then, I really have to prove myself."
And seemingly calming down and accepting the challenge head-on, Piccolo would feign pretending this was just a warm, cracking his neck from side to side with a smile.
"Time to go about this a different way."
As now staying at his distance, the Namekian warrior would opt instead to power up within his palm a concentrated mass of energy. Bringing it in towards himself with deep breaths, as if shaping it, or perhaps even planning his assault before. In a barrage of countless hand movements, an army of energy balls would all fire out at once. But as they would fire towards the angel, even Whis would notice how the majority were completely missing him and not on target at all. And once we would zoom out, almost predictably from Piccolo, each of these balls of energy that supposedly missed would now be floating in the sky all around the angel, surrounding him as if he had entered the wrong neighborhood. So this, I take it, is the famed Hell Zone grenade of yours. Goku-san did mention it to me at one point.
I bet he did.
As with seemingly Whis completely unconcerned, even with himself trapped in, Piccolo's cocky smirk would remain, as he would continue,
This is something similar, but you learn soon. It's gone through the same changes I have.
As just like that, swinging his arm inwards, he would control each sphere of energy like a puppet master, sending them crashing inwards with intense speed, all the while Whis would just remain locked into place still. But as he would look around, patronizingly, he would whisper as he begins to vanish, "How expectedly primitive, Piccolo-san. I wanted better." As in a flash, he would reappear far away from the scene, leaving the energy balls stranded with no target. As now smiling, the angel would let out, "Regardless though, I'm honored you used such a signature technique on me. Its flaws are obvious, but I suppose anything you would try would have the same effect at this point." But this passive arrogance would get interrupted when the angel would burst open his eyes, sensing something amiss. As right in front of him, each of the once stagnant energy balls would come hurtling forward, now with insane speed once again. Interesting. And as the beams move forward, for once, Whis would need to begin moving himself, dodging between each blast nevertheless, leaving after images behind.
Keep dancing, Whis. I can keep this up as long as you. I told you, this wasn't what you heard. These grenades won't detonate until they meet their target. So unless you want to face your punishment, you'll be here for a while.
A while, you say? Well, I can't have that, Piccolo-san. This game ends here. As Whis, hearing Piccolo's confident words, would just look down as if such a bold claim was simply not possible. As suddenly glowing his seraphim eyes as if activating a technique, the world around the angel would come to a slowing stop. As when we zoom out now, all around the angel in the sky, Piccolo's energy attacks would now be frozen, along with any life that was on the planet too. As Whis, still seen moving through all of this, would look down and say, allow me to introduce one of my changes. Before, you knew me to have the ability to reverse time momentarily. Now, I can stop it entirely. As Piccolo groaning, as if even though his body being frozen, his mind and soul would still be conscious, would be stuck into place, not moving in the slightest. And with this technique more than likely not being able to last indefinitely, almost in an instant, Whis would find his way right down to just below Piccolo until... Forgive me. I hope one day we can meet again. As with a shadowed face and bowed down, the angel would let out these ominous words one final time before... With a single swipe of his demonic staff, he would move from Piccolo's shoulder, under his chin, right down to his arm. The Angel of Universe 7 may have just done the unthinkable. As just in that instant, Whis' time-stopping technique would cease completely, and the severed head of Piccolo, shocked, would then abruptly separate in an explosion of blood, swinging to the right. As only moments later, those supposed never-ending energy balls would all explode behind Whis in a stunning scene. The angel had now claimed his second mortal victim, leaving Piccolo's now deceased body to fall down to the ground motionless, releasing a pool of blood and his internals from his neck, while Whis would stand in complete silence. And on closer inspection, with his head bowed and his eyes darkened, as if yet again what he had done was against his character and will. And to that end, still not saying a word, he would then be seen wiping his eyes once more, small wet patches around them, as if tears had uncontrollably erupted yet again. Before then lifting up his demonic staff, and just like that in front of him, a red hologram of a screen would appear ahead. And within it, a dark creature with red eyes and two horns would address the angel.
Whis, how lovely to hear from you again. What is it, my slippery friend?
To which Whis would respond, "It is done. They have been eliminated, Lord Lucif." As finally being revealed within the screen would of course be the current Omni King and former devil of the demon realm, Lucif. As with a dastardly grin, he would continue talking, saying,
Oh, really? That brings me great pleasure. I can only imagine how you feel. So, they are both dead. Both of the God Killer's friends.
To which Whis, with a melancholy voice, would reply quietly, "Yes, my lord. It is done, as I said."
Show me then!
As reveling in the angel's pain and the destruction of Vegito's friends and family, Lucif would callously demand proof. Eliciting just a grunt of annoyance from the angel, a first from him in the series. As you wish. As with a gruff tone, he would begrudgingly then move his staff and screen along with it, to then showcase the dead body of Piccolo for the devil.
Very good.
As now seeing it face to face on the darkness of his throne, Lucif would revel in the bloody mess created by his minion. As he would then address Whis again with a grin saying,
Very well done, Angel. You are more demon than I thought. You take after your father after all.
Before now, with an even more devilish smile, he would then reveal,
I think it's time. I enter the God Killer's universe. Together, we will eradicate everything he fought for.
But from one dark scene, things would eventually change, as we would now see a black portal open amongst the hustle and bustle of a futuristic city. And of course, out from the portal, our heroes Goku, Vegeta, and the God Killer Trunks would emerge. Huh? Wait a second. But as the Saiyans would emerge and look around, they would be positively stunned by the peaceful scenes, a stark contrast to what they were used to. As Goku would comment, hold on, this place looks fine. We're in the same timeline, right, Trunks? There isn't a trace of demon energy anywhere here. Not even any destruction. What's going on? Did Lucif forget about this universe? But as Trunks too would look around, he would be quick to reassure Goku saying, No, Goku. We're definitely in the same timeline. I don't know what's going on here, but there's no way Lucif would miss even a single planet, let alone an entire universe. Demons are here, or at least were. As only a moment later, all three Saiyans' curious states would be sidelined when each of their sets of eyes would begin to move to the side, as danger would now finally approach them. Looks like they finally come. As now appearing right in front of the group, a small party of figures would begin transmissioning in. What do we have here? As unbelievably, in an unexpected sight, 8 different members of the Pride Troopers would then suddenly appear, each looking a little older than their last appearance, but as uninviting as they ever had been for the 3 Saiyans. Wait! You two! But this hostility would turn into something far more insidious once Dispo would truly recognize who was in front of him, as he would mutter, Son Goku! How dare you! How dare you come back after what you did to Toppo! The Pride Troopers will not stand for injustice! Huh? Toppo? What did I do? But in response, the forgetful Goku would just stand perplexed, not having heard that name in so long, and with his mind only having been fixated on Jiren. But Vegeta, being his usual more mature self, would just grunt, Kakarot! He's talking about when Vegito beat him!
and took his destruction energy away. He didn't die by his hands though. Guess these lot wouldn't know about that though. Denying the crime! Unforgivable!
As instantly triggered by this comment from the prince, Dispo would straight away move forward at lightning speed, his body morphing to a blur in the moment as he showcases his self-proclaimed fastest in the universe speed. What? Wait! We can explain!
Forget it, Kakarot! This one will only listen to one thing.
As while Vegeta would begin vanishing with a smile, the purple Pride Trooper would take direct aim at Goku, flying straight for him like an unstoppable bulldozer before... Like an immovable object, Prince Vegeta would appear right in front of Dispo with his arm out, instantly lariating the warrior of justice, clocking him by the neck as his insane momentum would come to a screeching stop, complemented by his screechings of pain. And when we would get a close look at his face, it would be comedic to say the least, as his voice would suddenly go high-pitched, along with his eyes comically popping out until... As spinning into the background, reminiscent of an old cartoon character, Goku awkwardly would be left saying, I did say we could have just explained.
Oh well,
as Vegeta would be left grinning madly. Eventually leaving Dispo to fall to the ground, defeated in an instant.
Dispo! Dispo! Dispo!
As all 7 of the other lower members of the Pride Troopers would look on in shock, terrified that one of their senpais would be disposed of so easily. No pun intended.
And the rest of you, who wants next?
But as the Prince of All Saiyans would stand tall now before the rest of the group, there would be a noticeable silence, as each would know how pointless challenging the warrior would be.
That's what I thought, clowns!
Giving Vegeta the ego boost of a lifetime, as he would cockily smirk right in their faces.
Stop! Leave them out of this! We can't deal with you as we are!
But making sure for his team's safety, still on the ground, Dispo would raise the white flag, lifting his arm up to signal a stop.
Good move!
Leaving Vegeta to smirk away, folding his arms as he would then request,
now stop wasting my time and bring me your leader. Bring me Jiren! Huh? Jiren?
And for the first time, Casserole would speak, confusion in his voice as he would mumble,
Jiren isn't here! He's long gone! You came here for him!
Huh? Jiren's gone? What do you mean? What happened to him? And it would be at this point that Cocotte would have her first words, elaborating, well, I'm sure you know by now. Jiren isn't the same. He doesn't even speak to us now. But the last time he was here, there was some kind of invasion. It looked like some sort of foreign alien force. But Jiren said they were something else. Something about demons. He was only here for about 10 minutes, annihilated everyone, including their leader, and then just left, saying he had more to deal with elsewhere. We haven't seen him since. But hearing this, the God Killer Trunks would just be thinking to himself, he cleared out a whole planet and its king or emperor in 10 minutes? Who is this guy? He sounds like he's on Father's or Goku's level. Oh, so that's why this place is untouched. Makes sense if Jiren was involved. While Goku would be smiling away on hearing of his former friend's exploits. Before then slamming his fist into his palm in excitement, continuing, damn, I was really looking forward to meeting him again, fighting alongside him and seeing how strong he's got. Guess it'll have to be another time.
You're right about that. What a waste. This universe is covered, it seems. Time to move on to the next. Come, Kakarot.
As Vegeta, seemingly annoyed, would begin just walking back towards Trunks. That would be until suddenly the prince would sense an energy worth noting, approaching fast and with indiscriminate targeting. Ultimately and unfortunately, leading to an enormous crash landing, like a Saiyan spacepod, but on top of Vegeta, crumbling the Saiyan down instantly, as he and whatever hit him would now be clouded in smoke. Father! Vegeta! Garnering an instant reaction from both his son and greatest rival. As Dispo, rising now with a small smirk, would ominously whisper,
It's over for you guys now. He's arrived.
As while a dark silhouette would begin to appear within the smoke, whoever he was would remain a mystery until... As finally back in the Ultra Vegito universe, Jiren the Grey, the second God Killer, who mysteriously still bears 2 demonic horns, would return, smashing Vegeta down into a giant crater as his large palm covers the Saiyan's face. Jiren! Now, things just got interesting. As now not worrying at all for Vegeta, Goku would instantly put on a Saiyan-like smirk, intrigued by his own rival returning.
You are going to pay for that, Baldy!
But with Vegeta, the debt would seemingly still be unpaid, as instantly activating his purple seraphim. Next chapter, a battle between God Killers will undoubtedly take place. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag Jiren in the comments down below and let me know just who of the 3 God Killers will be the one to face him. Or just find out now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,700 other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.